maybe I should have gone out Sunday at high tide and just thrown it on my limit spot all day and see if I lost any. But you know, at this point you'll never know, and nobody will ever know, and that's just the way it is.
Well, you answered one of my questions, because I always ask you at least that as well. I said, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but if you look back now, what would you have done differently? And you answered that, so thank you.
Yeah, really. What would I have done differently? Got him in the boat.
Yep. There you go.
But no, I mean, I fished. The one thing I would have done differently is, well, there's two things. One is on day one, I should have gone to my big fish spot earlier, because when I got there, they were biting. And on day two, the guy that ended up winning, you know, he obviously fished my big fish spot all day and caught him. And I rode it off because of the north wind. But at the same time, I had the fish on to make a scare for him on day two. So it's not like you know, you could say
right.
just easily don't leave fish to find fish. So I was on fish, so, you know, it's not like I did anything wrong. It just didn't happen. But it was my execution was or my decision making and just my head game, and that, you know, fishing is all in your head, or you know, a big part of tournament fishing and doing well. It's having your head right, and that's really hard to do. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good at it now. I think when I was younger, I might not have understood everything, and when you throw tides into the mix, it makes it twice as important. And I think I did that perfectly. So that's probably the thing that I'm proudest of from this week is having done that right. I think that
awesome.
that makes me really happy.
Good. Well, tell everyone out there how they can get in touch with you. The Swift Creek Guide Reservoir Guide Service.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, so I'm on Facebook. You can find me. It's just Charlie Macheck. I'm just a regular old guy. So, you know, I'm just a regular old Facebook guy. I don't have a fan page or none of that stuff. But you can find me on Instagram at Macheck Fishing, and then my website is actually swiftcreekfishing.com. So if you go there, you can get all kind of info on booking a trip, and I write a fishing report. It's for the reservoir, but and, you know, I post it on my website, but you obviously have my fishing report as well.
But on the bass kit,
you know,
as well.
I do. It's a monthly report, and it's all, you know, seasonal stuff. And so even if you don't fish the Swift Creek Reservoir, you can check out my website and read my fishing report. And I wouldn't be surprised if it'll give you a couple of ideas on things to try on your home body of water. Especially, you know, the Swift Creek Reservoir, it's a little 1,700-acre lake. You know, I call it a big giant pond, really. So for all the small water guys out there, you can probably read some stuff on my fishing reports and say, you know what, well, that doesn't sound, you know, too different from what I can try on, you know, Sandy River or Briery or you know, any of those smaller lakes that might set up similar to it. So yeah,
cool.
Man, look me up, and that'd be cool.
Well, Charlie, man, we appreciate you coming on with Basscast Radio tonight, and appreciate all you do for the Basscast and the lake reports as always. And thank you again, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Are you going to fish any more of these Costa events, or?
Man, you know what? That's a good question. I got a call from Bassmaster on Friday while I was on the water, and I've been on the waiting list for the Northern Opens up there on Oneida, and they called me to tell me that they were going to get me in, and but FLW rules won't let you talk on the phone, so I wasn't able to answer. So they said they might have somebody else, but I think I really am hopeful that I'm going to be able to get into that, and that's going to be awesome. And then from there, I'm going to do the Bassmaster Open on the James River, obviously, and hopefully my my tide expertise or luck or whatever you want to call it. Every time you think you know it, you don't. But hopefully my good fortunes on the tide will follow me into August there for that. But my wife is actually pregnant with our first child, and we had planned a little, she likes to call it a baby moon, a little trip for our last little vacation before we have a little one on our hands.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same week as the tournament for FLW. So I haven't seen her since I got second. She came up to the weigh-in on Friday and got to see me, but she had to go to New York for a wedding that I was supposed to go to, but I got out of. And I was kind of sad. I like to see all the family and stuff that's at the weddings, but it was for a good reason. So once she gets home tonight and I get to talk to her, we're gonna. I just came into a little bit of money, so if I have to pay, a $50 fee to change my flight to a different day or something like that, we might be able to make it work. So I don't know. My schedule's up in the air right now, but I'm hoping to keep this momentum going. It feels awesome. I've had so much outpouring of love and support and everything from Facebook to Instagram to my text messages to email. I've been having trouble keeping my phone charged. I can only imagine what it's going to be like if I ever do win one of these things. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah, it'll come. Don't worry.
That's going to be the goal. And, it was a cool thing. And that guy, he won it. He caught 20 pounds on day 2. So, I got to tip my hat off to that because that's a monster bag, when you're fishing solo and he made the right call to go down there on that windy day, man, and that I didn't. And actually, one thing I didn't really say, it was kind of crazy. It's a little crazy story. If I've got time to tell it, it shouldn't take long.
Go ahead.
On that windy day, on day 2, I ran straight across the river because it was roaring. I mean, it was rough. It was wild. And so I ran straight across the river to get out of the waves, and I ran one of those flats over there. I was going to head into Belmont Bay, and it was calm over there on the flat, and there's an island out there, and it's got a flag on it, and that flag was just American flag. I mean, it was flying, and it was going in a different direction than I thought it was. And right when I saw that, I made a U-turn and went to my limit spot that I wasn't going to start on because I thought it was getting blown out. And that little string of luck right there, Old Glory flying, that saved my tournament right there because when I pulled in on day 2, they were biting right away, and so that was pretty cool.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. What a heck of a story.
Yeah, I know, right, man? I'm just an old school American, I think. So, I've on day 2, and it was actually pretty cool. That day, my co-angler was a retired Navy veteran, and there's a base not too far from where we fished, and you can hear the roll call in the morning, and they play the national anthem and everything, and when they started playing it, he put his rod down, took his hat off, and saluted the flag, and so we did that morning. That was pretty cool. I had a ton of respect for that. That was real cool. So
cool.
It's been, man, it's been an awesome week, man. I had a great time, and I always, when I fish these things, I always in the back of my mind, I've always had the attitude that I'm going there to win. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to, mess around, and I try to be as, I've never really considered myself a professional angler. I leave that. I think you said Brandon Card's on here later, and I leave that title for those guys. But I try to act professionally, and I try to go through the motions, like I see those guys doing, and
right.
Hope it works out. And but even with that, you can't help but making friends. And so I stayed with one of my buddies up there, and he had some of his friends staying with us. And so you just wind up meeting all these cool people, and you wind up with all these great friends. And one of the guys, I'd never even met him before, and we're going to be buddies now. But on day 2, after I came in and I was weighing my fish, and I told him that I had all kind of trouble losing my fish, and I was using that light wire hook. Well, he makes jigs. They're called bait buffet jigs, and when I came back to my boat, there was 4 of them laying in the bottom of it with big beefy 5/0 hooks on a 3/8 swim jig. So I threw those the next day, and I think my landing ratio went up, caught twice as many that day as I had the previous days because I'd had so much trouble. So, it's just cool stuff like that, man. The fishing industry is such a family. It's just cool, I mean, you're part of it, and I'm part of it. And,
oh, yeah.
And Steve, Steve Camp and the VBL guys, and, man, I saw, on the way home, on the way up to the Potomac, man, I stopped in on Green Top and spent a bunch of money, and I wound up catching all my fish on, some of that stuff I bought that on the way up. And so on the way down, it's right on the way to my house, so I swung in with the trophy and showed a few of the guys.
That's awesome.
One of Billy Powell works there, and on before the tournament, I Facebook messaged him to see if they had any of those jigs I wanted, and he went and checked the inventory for me, and told me, yeah, we got a few of them, so come on in. So, and then Steve's the electronics guy there, and I always call him for help. So, it was it's just been a cool thing, man. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Well, dude, man, we appreciate you coming on tonight and talking to us. And anything we can do for you in the future, please let us know. And it was great talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, y'all. And later to everybody out there listening, I appreciate everybody rooting for me. It's been cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, and I just make a little announcement here. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Cloverdale Custom Painting Incorporated. They are in the Smith Mountain Lake, Moneta, Bedford area. If you need a house painted, a business painted, give them a call today, 540-56-2982. We appreciate them sponsoring Basscast Radio. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with our interview with Mr. Brandon Card.